It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two outstanding middle schools here to play our game. Let's meet those teams right now. First, from Kenmoor Middle School, would you please say hello to our contestants? Here they are. Yenege Destani, Hunter Waples, and Jorge Ramirez. And from Oxon Hill, we welcome Lydia Montgomery, Derek Patterson, and Eric Demagus. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds, one of these two good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps become the third of this year's 4 semifinalists in the middle school competition, joining Hyattsville and Greenbelt. And my apologies to 2 of our contestants. It is Yegane. Yegane is our first contestant on Kenmoor, and it is Erica on Oxon Hill. My apologies, ladies. That will not happen again. We go alphabetically, K before O. So, Kenmoor, let's start the game. Hunter, before we start, let's check your buzzer, make sure everything works properly. All right, it looks like it's in good shape. You and Jorge and Yegane, good luck to you. And Derek, would you try your buzzer? The 2 seems to be in good shape. That green team with Erica, Derek, and Lydia ready to go. Let's have a great game. Hunter, start us out.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Look at the monitor, please. We have a visual question to start out our game. And what you're going to see is a train, a maglev train in Japan, in Shanghai. And it levitates on a superconducting magnet. And the reason it can go so fast is because what force is missing? Kenmoor.
Friction.
Friction is right. There's no resistance there. There's also a train like that, a maglev train in Paris. Would like to have one here on the Eastern Corridor from Washington to New York, but we don't have the rail line yet to accommodate that. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Rainbows are so colorful because the little water droplets suspended in the air act like tiny what? They act like tiny what, Kenmoor?
Prisms.
Prisms, yeah, like all these little pieces of glass up there, taking the white light and breaking it up into its component colors. Absolutely right. Go, red.
Science Potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, interspecific breeding, like a lion mating with a tiger, can happen. The offspring is almost always sterile because the 2 species have different numbers. Oxon Hill.
Chromosomes.
Chromosomes, absolutely right. They do not match up when meiosis takes place. Nicely done. Go green.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25, big one in that category. Teams, she is now involved in planning for interstellar travel, which will happen one day. But her big claim to fame is she was the first African-American woman to fly in space. Kenmoor.
Mae Jemison.
It is indeed Mae Jemison. Good answer. Thank you, Jorge, for your assist. Go, Hunter.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, if your family doctor sends you to a specialist who happens to be a pulmonologist, you are having problems with what organs? Kenmoor?
The lungs.
The lungs, absolutely right. Pulmonary refers to lung as in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, heart and lungs combined. Go red.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade, 15 points. Teams, when deer shed their antlers in the forest, they don't stay on the forest floor long. Rodents come and gnaw at those antlers to get this mineral. Kenmoor?
Calcium.
Yeah, they want to get that calcium to build up their own bones. Absolutely right. Go red.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, back in 1900, Charles Blakely was the first man to notice that his violent sneezing followed someone shaking flowers in his room, so he linked the sneezing to this. Oxon Hill.
Pollen.
Pollen, yes. Please wait till I acknowledge you before you give an answer. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Go green. Good answer.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, scientists have just figured out the reason why a steak and a glass of wine go together so well, just like a burger and a soda, because this sense organ has receptors for astringency and fattiness in addition to, Kenmoor?
Taste buds. Maybe taste buds. Taste buds.
Taste buds or the tongue, absolutely right, in addition to sweet, sour, bitter, or salty. Good answer. Go red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, a physician who recently found the adrenergic receptors throughout the human body that are receptive to the chemical adrenaline won this year's Nobel Prize in what field? Kenmoor.
Medicine.
Yes, sir. In medicine. Good. Go.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, RG3 is not a chemical formula. It is a quarterback for the Washington Redskins. But NH3 is a pungent gas that is found in household cleaners. Kenmoor.
Ammonia.
It is ammonia. Absolutely right. NH3 is ammonia. 1 atom of nitrogen, 3 of hydrogen. Go red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, food poisoning is often blamed on E. coli, a kind of bacterium. E is short for Escherichia, which is the first of its 2 scientific names. Kenmoor?
Genus.
It is its genus, yes. Escherichia is the genus, and coli is the species. Exactly what we wanted to hear. Nicely done. Go again, red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, the saying goes, if you eat Chinese food an hour later, you're going to be hungry. But if you have for breakfast eggs and bacon and hash brown, that food is said to stick to what bones? Kenmoor.
The thigh bones.
Not the thigh bones, no. Oxon Hill, what kind of food, heavy food, your mother says it'll stick to your what?
Teeth.
No, your ribs. Your ribs. It's rib-sticking food. Go again. All right. The buzzer has rung on that rib-sticking answer. Our score right now, 195 Kenmoor, 80 for Oxon Hill. We'll be back with round 2 of Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Jordan Sparks, and my I Matter You campaign is all about making a difference, and SOS Children's Villages does just that. I cannot believe how many children SOS has helped around the world by building villages, helping abandoned children, and giving them a mother and house to grow up in. I'm calling on everyone that I know to support SOS in their efforts to help kids at risk of abandonment in countries like Sudan, Vietnam, and Haiti. SOS helps these children over the long term, and you can make a real difference in a child's life. MAD, making a difference. That's what it's all about, and SOS is one of the best. You've got to check them out at sosusa.org.
SOS Children's Villages gives homes and hope to children in need all around the world. Join SOS and Jordan Sparks in making a difference. Visit sosusa.org to learn more.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Two great schools here, one of whom is the winningest school in Science Bowl's 27-year history of middle school competition. That would be Kenmoor Middle School. So congratulations on what your school has done in the past. And Oxon Hill still awaiting their first championship. It might happen this year. Let's find out about our 6 players. Let's go to Kenmoor first. And Hunter, tell me about Kenmoor. It's right here in Landover, which is where our studio is. Who's the principal there?
Miss Faldy is our principal there.
Absolutely.
She's been there
a great
for a while.
supporter of Science Bowl, and we
Yes, she
appreciate
is.
her efforts. And who's the sponsor of your team? You have a couple sponsors, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have Dr. Chris, who's been our main sponsor for this year. He's a new sponsor. And then we also have Miss Barrientos. And also helping with our team is our new tag coordinator, Miss Novick.
Wonderful. So we appreciate all their efforts. And I think you had an alternate or two on your team, didn't you?
Yes.
Who do you have?
Shopa Roy.
All right, and we'll bring her out in just a few moments so you can meet them and the sponsors, the coaches of the team. Hunter, tell me what it is about Kenmoor that you like to brag about.
Well, it's mostly our Science Bowl wins because we've won, I think it's 8 times, so we like to talk about that a lot.
Absolutely right. Well, we appreciate that and that well-deserved reputation, too. Tell me about yourself. You have an interesting sideline. You're interested in circus acts, right?
Yes, I am.
Tell me some of the things you're capable of doing.
Well, I enjoy juggling, and I enjoy, I can ride a unicycle, and I can walk tightrope, not at the same time. Yeah. But thanks to a circus camp that recently opened in the town that I live in, Greenbelt.
It's amazing. As a big fan of Cirque du Soleil, it's just to watch what people can do, the amount of discipline that it takes. So I'm envious. So good luck to you in that. But professionally, what do you want to do someday?
I want to be a theoretical physicist, possibly working in Fermilab or CERN.
Wonderful. All right. Well, nice to have you back because you were on Science Bowl once before.
Yes, I was.
What school?
I was in Glenarden Woods in elementary school.
Absolutely. Nice to have you here in middle school. And Jorge, you were here as an elementary school student on the Oak Crest Science Bowl team, and you won the championship that year, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have you back again. Tell us a little bit about what you do in your spare time.
In my spare time, I mostly play, video games, and, here and there I program a little bit, trying to, learn so I can, start my career early as a programmer. Never too soon to start. You're absolutely right. You're also interested in theoretical physics, aren't you? No, experimental physics.
Experimental physics.
Yes.
And where would you like to go to school someday?
I'm hoping to go to Cornell University because my father went there, but, I can also go to MIT or any other.
Wow. Yeah, the advantage of being the son of an alum will be in your favor. You won't need any help. I'm sure you're going to get in just fine. And Yena Gay, tell me about yourself.
Well, I've never been on Science Bowl before, but I like it. There was this once, I was just flipping through channels, and I just came across this show, Science Bowl, and I was like, that's a cool show. I should try to be on it.
We appreciate that, Yena. We think it's a cool show. We hope you're having some fun here today. What would you like to do someday?
I want to be a lawyer, as a matter of fact.
How'd you get interested in the law?
Long story short, my brother we fight, and I actually like being on the honest side to defend myself and defend others for their rights.
Yeah. If you like to argue and if you win your arguments, law is a good, attainable profession. So good luck to you. Over to Oxon Hill. Derek, tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
My principal is Mr. Coleman.
Wonderful. And I know he's behind you today. All of Oxon Hill is behind you.
Yep.
Miss Redmond is out there. She is your sponsor this year, and she has put in a lot of hard work getting you ready for today. And you have, I think, 4 alternates, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Who might they be?
Elijah, Joanna, Devin, and anyone else I left out.
All right. That's a lot to remember, especially with these lights in your eyes. You're doing a fine job. We're going to bring them out along with Miss Redmond in a few moments here. I'll ask you what I asked Hunter. What is it about Oxon Hill that is just the best?
Well, there's a lot of stuff, but if I had to say, it would be peace, because at our school, we believe that everyone has good potential in this, and we activate that positive energy. It activates constant elevation towards our goals.
Wow, wow. And if everybody feels that way, what a great place that must be to go to school. Yeah. And you're all in 8th grade over there, correct? Mm-hmm. And Derek, what do you hope to do someday?
I hope to become a scientist, and I want to go to college at MIT.
MIT. So you have a lot in common with some of the folks over here at Kenmoor.
Yep.
Nice to have you on the show here today.
Thanks.
Erica, you're welcome. Erica, tell us about yourself. You sort of volunteered to come on the show, but they kind of recruited you as well. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to draw or play laptop or play with my any game, any kind of games.
That's great. What do you want to do professionally?
I want to become either a surgeon or a pediatrician.
Or a surgeon. Okay, how'd you get interested in medicine?
Oh, well, you know, because my mom's a nurse, so yeah.
That says a lot, an awful lot. I'm sure she's very proud of you that you'd like to follow in her footsteps there. Lydia, nice to have you on the show today. You're a reader, aren't you?
Yes.
You like to read all kinds of things, and that's a great habit to have for your entire life. What do you see yourself doing someday?
I haven't narrowed it down yet, but I want to do something with music.
Yeah. Do you play music or do you sing?
I sing and I play music too.
Yeah. Wow. What instrument do you play?
I play guitar, piano, and violin and clarinet.
Wow. You're a one-person band over there. You got it all. Very musically talented. Well, it's nice to have you on the show here today. Keep up your good work in the second half. Let's get back to it. Oxon Hill, 80 points. Kenmoor, 195. Some of the tougher questions yet to be answered. Good luck, teams, as we start the second half. Hunter, start us out.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, nails were only invented about 2,000 years ago, but back in the 3rd century BC, Archimedes came up with these other fasteners that are harder to use, and they're, yes, Kenmoor?
Screws.
Screws, yes, and they're also a kind of simple machine. Absolutely right. Good. Red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, in addition to chemotherapy, some cancer patients receive hyperthermia therapy for their tumors. What's done to them? Kenmoor.
They're heated up.
They're heated up, yeah. High heat is applied to try to kill some of those cancer cells. Exactly. Go, Red.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please. This beautiful cat called a margay, a kind of ocelot, does something that no other predator does. It makes monkey sounds to try to lure the monkeys toward it. It is the only predator on Earth that uses, therefore, what kind of M initial tactic to get its prey? Kenmoor.
Mimicking.
Mimicking, absolutely right. It is mimicry. No other animal does that. Nice answer. Thank you, Jorge, for your assist there. Go, Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, what homonym, words that are pronounced the same but are spelled differently, describe both the modified leaf that makes up the pistil of the flower and the wrist bone that is associated with a tunnel syndrome? Kenmoor.
Carpal.
Carpal is right, yes. C-A-R-P-E-L and C-A-R-P-A-L. Well done. Go, Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, if you were capable of catching a falling star and putting it in your pocket, you'd have a very valuable one of these in your pocket. What would you have, Oxon Hill?
Meteorite.
You would have a meteorite, absolutely right. Kind of a hot pocket there, too. Go. Green.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, whenever they get lobsters from the waters in Maine to get them to your Safeway store, they don't put them in water. They keep these lobsters alive by keeping them in moist seaweed and packing them with frozen turkeys. This is all to slow down what M initial process in the lobster that is the sum of its physiological processes. Kenmoor.
Mitosis.
Not mitosis. Good try. What M initial term describes all the physiological processes in that lobster that are slowed down by keeping it next to frozen turkeys?
You have an idea?
What do you think, Derek?
I have no idea.
Metabolism. Metabolism is the right word there. All right. Go, Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
So, science potpourri for 25 points. Teams, your answer is as follows. The consultants on the television show Bones are exclusively forensic anthropologists. Tell me specifically what a forensic anthropologist does.
They study,
Kenmoor?
They study dead bodies in order to solve crimes.
I need more information.
They study DNA and bones and stuff like that.
Not quite enough. Oxon Hill, a forensic anthropologist, as would be found as a consultant on the television show Bones, does what specifically for a living?
Study how long ago the body died.
Give me more, please.
They study the time of death and everything. They study when the body died and how it died and who killed the body.
Not quite enough. Both of you are giving information basically that defines a pathologist. A forensic anthropologist studies long ago deaths where just a fragment remains to determine the cause of death. We needed that anthropological component to give you the 25 points. Nice tries. No points. Go green again.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, rather sad, toxicity to this stimulant was listed as a cause of death for a young lady recently who consumed a lot of Monster energy drink. Kenmoor?
Caffeine.
Caffeine, that's right. She had caffeine toxicity because she had drunk 2 or 3 of those large cans of Monster. Try again, red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science
potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome, is oftentimes linked to this liquid metal, traces of which are found in fish. Kenmoor?
Mercury.
Mercury, absolutely right. Eating too much fish can sometimes increase the chances of developing that condition. Go, red.
Let's get physical for 25.
Get physical for 25. Big one in that category, teams. Before the Potomac River comes out your tap, 4 things have to happen. First, the water is coagulated. Then it goes under sedimentation. Then it is filtered. And lastly, this process takes place usually with bleach. Oxon Hill.
Chlorine.
Judges? Say it again, please.
Chlorine.
Yes, we're going to give that to you. All right, chlorine or chlorination or disinfection is what we're looking for. Okay, go green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, if you suffer a rotator cuff injury, this is a 2-part question. If you suffer a rotator cuff injury, what have you injured? What kind of body part have you injured? And where in your body would you find it? Oxon Hill. 2 parts.
You would have injured your shoulder blade. Your wrist. And... oh my God.
Not quite. Not quite. Kenmoor, a rotator cuff injury. What have you injured? What kind of body part? And where in your body would you find it?
You've injured your bone and it's in your shoulder.
You're in the shoulders, right, but the rotator cuff is a muscle or in the tendon attached to it. We would have accepted tendon or muscle. Go again, green. Derek?
Zuparade for 10.
Zuparade for 10 points. Teams, these slime-producing hermaphroditic gastropods, if you serve them with butter, they're called escargot at a French restaurant. Kenmoor?
Snails.
Snails, that's right. They are nasty. Go. Red.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Big one in that category. Teams, big word. What D initial term describes the study of the rings in a tree to determine its age and past climatic conditions? Dendrochronology or dendrology. Either one we would have accepted. Go red. Hunter.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, woody plants, plants without woody stems like bananas are surprisingly categorized in what same group of plants as parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme? Kenmoor?
Herbs.
Yes, a banana, as are all those others, herbs. Red, please.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the surf is never up on Mars, but the Curiosity rover recently sampled some rock up there. Turned out to be mostly basaltic, just like that found in what 50th state? Kenmoor?
Hawaii.
Hawaii, yes. It is very much like Hawaii on Mars, aside from no beaches or hotels. Go, red.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, according to a recent survey, the most important scientific invention ever was not the wheel, not the light bulb, but this. Kenmoor.
The door.
The door? Not the door. Oxon Hill, can you tell us the most important invention ever according to a recent science survey? Not the wheel, not the electric light bulb, but this.
The pulley.
The internet was the answer. And with that, we come to the end of today's Science Vault. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Hello? Hello? I've been on the street for a while. I've been on the street for a while. I saw your poster outside. I saw your poster outside. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
National Runaway Switchboard, how can I help? Call 1-800-RUNAWAY to make the connection.
And welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. We're proud of all of our players. Our final tally today is Oxon Hill 110, Kenmoor 320. Congratulations, Kenmoor. Yegane, I'm going to get that name right once this game. Hunter, congratulations, and Jorge Chopa and Dr. Chris, congratulations. We're going to see you in the next round. And Oxon Hill, let me see some smiles over here. You guys did a super job, Lydia and Derek and Erica. And look at the shadow team back there, Adriana and Elijah and Joanna and Damon. And Miss Redmond, thank you for all you did to get this team ready. I want to see them back here next year, all right? And I want to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.